the rack, as I mentioned in the GenAI. So the pure concepts of the GenAI is rack, retrieval augmented generation. So what is a retrieval? Retrieval is something about the knowledge base. So that is the previous session vector database. So which we are going to read the data from the vector database. That's we call as a retrieval. Okay, the generator is nothing but the LLMs which we have seen in the Amazon Bedrock services like in a Cloud Sonnet 4.5, Haiku 4.5, or like in a general OpenAI platforms or the Sonnet like an Anthropic, the one which model we executed in the Visual Studio Code. So all these are the LLM models like large language models which we call as a generator. So when we combined the retrieval and the generator, we use the augmented as an approach in between, like in a combining together and making one final solution. So how will we develop this rack? For example, if we consider for the chatbot system, so in chatbots it is a relevant. So when I'm looking for the some piece of the code which is relevant to my activity, but it is given some incorrect code which is completely like in a which is irrelevant to us, right? So then I'll feel that like in a this particular the platform which is not working as expectedly, I can switch for some other platform. So now how will you overcome these issues as a point of the business? Okay, this is where the knowledge base, as I mentioned in the vector database. So you are going to collect the data. So if the data source which is contains in the PDF, PPT, Confluence, or Jira, any type of general database, once you collect the data, then you are going to process those data with the, if it is a readable document, where you are going to use a PDF miner or PDF plumber or docling as a packages, and you will be extracting the information, and those information will be creating as a metadata. For example, when the user requests like, hey, I want to have a sales for the particular geographical location for these 3 months of this particular product, so then this particular query will retrieve from the metadata from these tables, and it will give the results for the user as a summarization. So now once you've like, and if I go back to the PDF documents and everything, you read the documents and you process it and you create the chunks, and these chunks will be converted to the numerical values as a numbers with the help of embedding models. So once you convert it to the embedding, which will store into the vector databases, as I mentioned here, one of the vector databases will be stored here. Now the retriever, what it do, so it will retrieve the data from this vector database with the help of like in dense or sparse mechanism. So dense is nothing but it will go with the semantic similarity. Like in a, I'm looking for some specific food. So the food is okay. So when user says the food is okay and the food is better or food is good, so the good and better and okay is the three different but contextually those are positive, positive based the approach. So this is what the semantic similarity which will work. So when users provide the uh, information, it will try to retrieve the similar type of the topic which is presented in the knowledge base by using the retrieval mechanism of dense approach, like in the semantic similarity using the inside the semantic similarity, you can go with the cosine similarity as an approach where it will try to fetch the relevant information. If not, there is another mechanism we call as a keyword search appearance, where I'm looking for okay means I need to find out okay as a specific word only. That's we call as a sparse based approach, dense and sparse. Either you go with the semantic similarity, meaning based on the meaning of the word which you have to retrieve, or you have to match the exact the word mapping. So that's where the keyword based we can say that. So either the two-way techniques which you can implement, we call as a hybrid technique also. Sometimes if you wanted to retrieve the best of the embeddings, so you can go with the hybrid, and on top of you can apply the re-ranking. So so with this, where you can develop your quality of the retrieving chunks, and once you generate the chunks, because these the chunks will be having a some 10 to 15 chunks, so consider 2 to 3 pages chunks. So as part of the user quite only just one or two lines of the sentence what the user is expects, right? If I sending the complete chunks or the complete 2 to 3 pages chunks, there is no there is no interest of the user to go through the each and every of the chunk or each and every page of the information, right? It should be summarized. So how will you are going to summarize? This is where the generator part will come. So in generator where you are going to use the LLM models, so those LLM models will help us to summarize this context based on the user query. So for LLM as an input where you are going to send the user query, then you are going to send the context from the knowledge base, and then finally you are going to get the final response.